Bright Moments. I am BJ Brown, Executive Director of Richmond Jazz Society and curator of the exhibition Virginia Jazz, The Early Years. The exhibition features over 30 musicians, vocalists, entrepreneurs, dancers who helped to make jazz what it is today. So sit back and enjoy some words from some folks who will tell you what makes Virginia Jazz great. Bright Moments. All right, once again, I'm BJ Brown, Richmond Jazz Society. I want to thank you again for being here at our exhibition. Would you give us your name again?
Florence Johnson Ford.
Florence Johnson Ford.
I am the daughter of Estelle B. Johnson, who ran the dancing hall for the Johnsons' Happy Pals.
Oh, that's so incredible. Now, whose picture am I holding?
That's the picture of my mother.
This is your mother?
This is my mother. She was in charge of the dancing hall. My father had a funeral home downstairs, and she was upstairs, and the Johnsons' Happy Pals played there often.
Oh my gosh, now I understand when the Johnsons' Happy Pals played, people were in line down the street and around the corner.
They looked forward to coming to dance.
Oh my gosh.
And the hall was large, they had lots of fun, they just enjoyed themselves, they came out laughing and grinning and saying, when is the next affair?
Oh my goodness, and I know everybody was dressed to the nines.
Oh, they were dressed to kill.
Oh my goodness.
Dressed to kill.
Dressed to kill. Oh my gosh. So when we look back at the picture of Johnson's Happy Pals, you saw somebody in that picture that you know.
I saw a person of Percy Smith.
Trent?
Percy Trent.
Percy Trent.
Percy Trent. And the orchestra was some kind of nice. I even danced as a child when they played. But the music was so good. It was so good. I just enjoyed all of it.
Yeah. What's incredible, the photograph, the large photograph you have there, that was Johnson's Happy Pals in New York City at the Savoy Ballroom in 1929. You were a kid then.
Yes, I was. But I do remember the music.
Yeah.
I remember the music.
Yeah. Well, in that picture, they won first place in a big band competition. They beat Duke Ellington.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did.
That's their heart.
Our band from Richmond. They were supposed to be Cab Calloway's backup band. He loved them so much. He said, I want you guys to back me up. He said, no, we got to go back to Richmond. We got family. We got to go back to Richmond. So, but what a wonderful story. Johnson's Happy Pals. Wonderful.
I'm just so happy to know that you all have this wonderful exhibition here that I think is just fabulous.
Thank you so much.
You know, you all have done a beautiful job.
Oh, thank you.
Of exposing the good music that we had years ago.
Exactly, and the talent that came out of Virginia.
Yes, and the talented people.
Right. Now, you remember the story about Bill Bojangles Robinson?
Yes, I do.
About the traffic light?
Yes, Bill Bojangles Robinson took the traffic light up because I was a child going to Armstrong High School. And we were on a double shift from 8 to 12 and 12 to 4 because this was the only high school in Richmond for black children. And he put up the lights because quite a few children were being killed in the traffic at Adam and Lee.
At Adam and Lee. That was a very dangerous intersection.
It was very dangerous.
So I heard that he actually tap danced down Lee Street. My dad said he tap danced back down Lee Street and raised money for that traffic light.
Yes, he did. A lesson for us. He saved a lot of lives.
Saved a lot of lives. A lot of people don't know that he was a philanthropist and he did all kinds of things to help people who need help. Not just tap dancing, but he was a very open-hearted person, giving person is what I understand.
We were just so thankful. I think we did something in the auditorium for him to thank him for putting the lights up there for us. We did something, I don't recall exactly what it was.
Right.
But it was something very nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And I know you remember the name Claude Hopkins. He had the orchestra.
Remember Claude Hopkins, Erskine Hopkins? I remember him.
And there were some others around here. That Mabel Scott. Do you remember hearing Mabel Scott? She was from Richmond. Mabel, she's a singer. She had a real deep voice. But she moved out to the West Coast. And then I know you saw Lonnie Liston Smith.
I remember him.
Yeah.
He was very good.
How about Mr. Jimmy Roots?
Oh yeah, Jimmy Woods. You know how the name
Remember
rings a bell.
It rings a bell.
But I can't.
He was at the Abbey. He used to play the piano at the Abbey a lot. That's Desiree's dad.
Yeah, right. I remember the name Roots.
He traveled the world with Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who was her
Remember Rosetta Tharpe?
with Rosetta
Yes, I
Tharpe.
remember her.
Yeah.
She lived around the corner from me.
A lot of people don't know that she lived in Richmond for a while.
Yes,
Yes, she did.
She lived on Martin Avenue.
Yep, that's exactly right. On Barton
On the
Avenue.
garden?
Yep, Barton Avenue.
Some things come back to me.
Yes, you're doing a great job. And I know I'm not supposed to ask a lady's age, but would you be willing to tell us?
Tomorrow I will be 94.
Wow, that's incredible.
Tomorrow.
That's just incredible.
I am blessed.
Yes, you are. And
Very
it's so
blessed to be able to drive my car and take care of my house.
beautiful. I sure thank you for sharing your mom's picture. I mean, this is just incredible.
Yes, it is.
I can't thank you enough.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. We've been knowing each other a long time, Ms. Fredhorn. I'm BJ Brown, Richmond Jazz Society, but you've been working with Richmond Jazz Society and supporting us long time. And I'm so happy to see you today. I know you as Mary Strayhorn, am I correct?
Yes, you are.
All right, so will you say it for me, your name?
I am Mary Strayhorn from Van and Jackson Ward. That's my part. I had a part-time job with the Richmond Recreation. That's what it came up with. And I worked at the Coliseum, and I also worked at the Mosque Theater, which is now the Altria Theater. And I've had the opportunity to meet quite a few performers, lecturers, writers, and when I go backstage, or either if I worked security, and I would talk to them. And some of it was fun, and some of it was minute, but that's life. Because I guess I found out some of the performers think that you don't know how to talk to them, okay? And one of the funniest stories that I have is I happened to come to the mosque early one day, and this young lady came out, and she said, "Where's a hamburger joint around here?" And I said, "Well, it's a Burger King down on Gray Street, so if you'll wait a minute, I'll walk you down there." So she had on a red bandana, blouse, and jeans, and we walked all the way down to Burger King on Gray Street and walked back, and she said, "Thank you." So I was in charge at the time of the service personnel. And so when we went inside to have our meeting, the performers were up there practicing. So this young lady, when I was in my back to the stage, and she was singing, so everybody told me, said, "Shh." So when I turned around, guess who was up on the stage? The lady with the red bandana, the blouse, and when I singing, and it was Nancy Cole.
Oh.
I had walked down the street and didn't recognize her, and I walked up to the stage, and I said, "No, you didn't do that to me." And she said, "I thought you knew." I said, I said, "You were incognito," and it worked. And that was one of my most outstanding remembrance I have. The other one is that I went backstage with it and Gene Cooper. And in case you don't know who Gene Cooper is, he's a drummer, okay? And somebody hollered Strayhorn, and he turned around and he said, "Where's Strayhorn?" And that one of the hands back there said, "There she is." And he said, "She." I said, "Hi." He said, "Hi." He said, "Come here." So I went over to him and we started talking. So he said, "Do you know Sweet Pea?" Sweet Pea was doing that. who that Merry Christmas is Sweet Pea. And so he said Sweet Pea is Billy Strayhorn that worked for Duke Ellington. And I said, oh, I said, well, all the Strayhorns, from what I've been able to find out, are kin. So he said, I tell you what, next time you're in New York, give me a call. I'm going to give you the information to call me. And if I'm in town, I'm going to carry you to meet Sweet Pea. Well, when I did go to New York and I called him, Sweet Pea had just passed. So I didn't get a chance to go and talk to him. But what he knew and a couple of other guys sitting down, talking with me, gave me some input to the type of guy he was, a quiet but fun-loving person. And all. So that stood out. And then Ella Fitzgerald came for a performance with the Richmond Symphony. And she was just a sweet, she was like a nice older lady. And I thoroughly enjoyed talking with her. I talked with Teddy Pendergrass. I've had Larry Graham at my house. I've had quite a few other performers that they didn't want to go to their hotel room because they didn't want to be bothered with the crowd. So I carried them home, and when I walked in, and my children recognized them, and they said they ate spaghetti dinner or whatever I had fixed for them, and stayed all night. So it was quite a bit of fun. And
What about Lonnie Liston Smith?
Yeah, Lonnie Liston Smith worked with us over at the post office, and his brother did too. And I love to hear him play the piano. My mother used to play the piano, and I used to sit down. I lived at 405 East Duval. And during that time, we didn't call it any kind of war. It was just where you lived. And I was between Navy Hill and between Jackson Road at that time. So I was in the center of town. So I got a chance to meet some of these performers, not always knowing what they did, because we were not interested in that part. We were just play pals. And when I moved over north side, I met Stu Gardner, and we also went to school together. And he did play the Christmas out of piano, okay? And so I guess I'm tuned into the organ and the piano. When I buy a lot of music, it's with the organ and the piano. And then I'm trying to go back and remember some of the other performers. Cam, who are some of the other performers that I met? You know, the entertainers, other entertainers that I have met, besides the ones I done brought home with us.
You remember her bringing some home too, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
I worked there too. So, Frank Sinatra,
Yeah, that was my
Ray Charles.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't believe. At night, one night, he wanted some greens and some pork. And yeah, I had to go way over Churchill, 11, 12 o'clock at night. He was down at the Jefferson Hotel, okay? And I went way over Churchill to, what's the name of that place over there?
Caroline Barbecue.
Yeah, to get him greens, potato salad, macaroni and cheese, what else?
You wanted a
Some
barbecue.
And
barbecue.
barbecue. And carried it back down to the hotel, and they didn't want to let me in.
Oh,
And I said, I know good and well you're going to let me in and go and see this man, because I'm not giving it to nobody else. This is what he wanted. And I am not going to trust nobody to it. So they eventually let me go, and he went up, and I went up there. And he said, honey, thank you so much. And he had about 2 or 3 of the little bottles of sweet juice. And he was really dealing with them. And he thanked me so much for that time of night in Richmond, going over Churchill to get him his food. So see, I know my son remember a lot of things that I might not remember right off, but I really had interaction with them. Some of the performers, and then I like when they had the Richmond Forum and they had some of the different entertainers over there talking. It was fun to talk to them. Just generally how you. I remember meeting the Jacksons for the first time they were here. I was security for them backstage.
Security.
I did not find them to be happy cows. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm telling the truth. I was a mother, and just trying to talk to them was like trying to talk to a statue. It was no friendliness about them. Okay.
Well, let me ask you, do you remember Market Inn?
Oh yeah. But I couldn't go in there though. But I remember. Yeah.
But I can't find pictures, Market Inn. I know that Stu Gardner's uncle used to play there. I can't remember his name now. But
most of the performers that they came here and they had time, they would go over to Market Inn. And that was over there in the summer, like Providence Park, Washington Park. Over there. It was like a hidden castle.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Back there in that day.
But they say it was a really nice place.
Yes, but we weren't allowed to go in it. And also, when you go back to 2nd Street, my daddy had a friend named Shorty Paris. He had a club there, and us children he would carry us in there only when nobody would in there and feed us pops and potato chips. And that was right next to Dolly's, it's a Dolly or Molly's beauty shop that was on 2nd Street. It was near Slaughter's.
Oh, near Slaughter's.
Slaughter's in between up there. And that was a lot of fun to be a youngster going to a club, and dance on the floor and have a good time.
Nice.
That was good.
Could you go into the Hippodrome Theater? Could you go in there? They did movies or shows?
I remember when you used to have to take a tin can and bash it, and that was your price to go to a movie in the Hippodrome.
Really?
Yes, a mashed up tin can.
Tin can?
Yes, I remember that.
Wow.
And we see chapter pictures. Every week we had to go because they had chapter pictures.
Chapter pictures, yeah.
And that was entertainment for us as blacks in that area because you had the Lowe's Theater, you had the Bird Theater, you had the National Theater. We only had the Booker T and the Walker up on Broad Street. We had the Globe and the Hippodrome on 2nd Street. And a lot of our parents wouldn't let us go into those places unless they went and they didn't particularly to go. So a lot of us didn't get a chance to go. But the fortune that I had is that my stepmother was a ticket person in the booth at the theater. All 3 theaters, the Walker, the Booker T, and the Hippodrome. And so my daddy was also a projectionist at all of the black theaters. So I got a chance to go to the theaters to see different things.
That's incredible.
And Ma Peggy made sure that she looked out for us. You want me to cut it?
Okay, well, I sure would like to thank you for your sharing your wonderful stories with us. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. And I hope you enjoyed the exhibition and seeing some of the musicians and vocalists and entrepreneurs that are from Virginia, so many that we have to be proud of.
Yes, well, we have a lot to be proud of, and I hope we can find a generation that can take over what you have done. And you all have done a beautiful job.
Thank you.
And we need to get the young people involved and get to know what's what about the performance because they're good.
You're right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm just happy to meet you. Once again, I am BJ, Richmond Jazz Society. I'm the curator of the exhibition and executive director of Richmond Jazz Society. Would you just give me your name again?
Sure, I'm Carol Allen Pearson now. Yes.
And tell me what's so unique about this picture of the Johnson's Happy Pals.
The unique thing is I remember some of the gentlemen, but mostly it's because my father was William Mama Allen.
Show us your father. This is incredible, Carol. I can't even talk to you because my heart is pounding like this. So your mom, Ms. Marion Allen,
Yes.
donated this picture to Richmond Jazz Society. She came to our club on Chamberlain Avenue and she donated it to us. And she was the one that told us the story about Johnson's Happy Pals winning the contest at the Savoy Ballroom. And this is the photograph from when they won the competition and beat Duke Ellington and all of the big bands of the day.
Yes, I heard those stories.
You remember those stories?
Of course I do, yeah.
So tell me, why did they call your dad Mama Allen?
Well, they said my dad was sort of the father-mother of the group, that he would keep them in line. Therefore, he acquired the name of Mama Allen. And as a little kid, I remember plenty calls. And they would always call and say, hey, can I speak to Mama Allen? And I would be so confused. I mean, because we didn't call him Mama Allen at home. So I eventually would have to say, do you mean my mother or my father? And they would say, Bick. That was another one of his nicknames. Yes, but all of the band members pretty much were Mama Allen.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So I understand you have some more photographs and some more memories.
Yes, yes.
Do you remember some of the things that you have?
Just a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get together, you promise, right?
Promise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. All right. And then one more question too. Tell me, you remember what did you call Jack Talley? He was Uncle Jack to you.
Uncle Jack, yeah, he was my godfather.
Did you know he played trumpet?
Yes.
Do you know if there's any family of his still around?
I don't know. Well, I've lived in Delaware for years and years, and so we've relocated back to Richmond for a while now. But some of the older, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I've
I
lost
remember
touch.
he had a son.
He had a son.
And I've often wondered what happened. I don't remember, what's his name, Jack?
It was
Yeah, I
Jack
think it was
too.
Jack Jr.
Yeah,
Yes.
uh-huh.
And that's pretty much what I remember.
Well, I can't wait for us to get together and share those pictures.
I can't either.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
My name is Glenroy Bailey, and I was a student of Mr. Joe Kennedy from 1966 through 69 at Maggie Walker High School. I was his drum major for 2 years, and he made it possible for me to go to college and become a band director just like he was. And I've been playing the streets of Richmond ever since I was about 16 years old and following his footsteps. And every time I went in class to pick up the baton and teach my students, I thought about him and wanted to do it just like he did it. Okay, once again, Glenroy Bailey. This is Roy Johnson. We call him Daddy Roy because he was like a dad to us. And this is his brother Emmett Johnson, and they were the Johnsons who created the Johnson Happy Pals, and Uncle Daddy Roy was the manager. We used to live with him basically when I went to Gnarl Elementary School, and they're the guys that had won the Savoy over Count Basie's, not Count Basie, but Duke Ellington's band. And they won first place, and they had to disband because they couldn't stay up there for a year because they were elevator operators, cab drivers, and had families down here that they couldn't sustain being up there. But these were the famous Johnson Happy Pals, and I'm delighted to be a member of that family.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Roots. I'm the youngest son of James Jimmy Roots here in Richmond, Virginia. It's been a pleasure to be here today to represent the family and to say that I'm proud of my father, always have been. Growing up here in Richmond, we always had music in the household, be it gospel, be it jazz, or be it blues. My father traveled around this country and around the world, and one major thing he did, he was recognized as being the organizer of the first African-American Naval Men's Chorus in Corpus Christi, Texas. Traveling my father around the world, we became just like him. My sister Desiree Roots is following in his footprints with jazz and blues, and my brothers and sisters now, we still hold on the church foundation. Again, it's been a pleasure seeing everybody here today. Please come by Richmond Jazz Society. Show them your support that we might keep our legacy going on. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Lonnie Liston Smith, and I'm here at the Valentine Museum, and they have the jazz exhibit, which is really nice. So I really enjoyed everything, and I'm from Richmond, and there's a lot of great musicians from here, and so I'm still touring, so I guess I'll see y'all in the future.
Hi, I'm Sandra Jefferson, and I'm here to talk about my wonderful cousin, Al Foster. Al and I are related because our mothers are sisters, and they were raised in Richmond, Virginia, and when they were teenagers, they moved to New York City, where Al was born. Al is the humblest man out of the family. I remember him telling me when we just had a Cab Calloway concert, so Cab Calloway's on my mind. But Dizzy Gillespie, when Dizzy Gillespie called him to ask him to be a part of his group, he was thrilled to pieces, and he couldn't believe it. And he just couldn't believe that someone as great as Dizzy Gillespie would call him and ask him to be a part of his group. And also Miles Davis. He played for Miles Davis almost 15 years, and then he grew to greater heights. We love you, Al. Keep up the good work.
Bright moments, family. Yeah, this is Earl John Powell, a.k.a. Johnny, Lil Johnny, Big Johnny now. It's a spiritual journey to come here today after 36 years. I just want to thank the Richmond Jazz Society for doing a wonderful job today and all these years since its inception. And my mother, Buttercup, was so fortunate to be in on the ground floor as an advisor to the Richmond Jazz Society. And from there, Richmond Jazz Society has grown like 100-fold. It's a wonderful place. It's I had no idea of the exhibition of how many people actually are from here that contributed to jazz as we know it, which is an American indigenous art form that we called jazz. And I want to thank BJ especially, and Robert Payne, and all these names, and nameless people that have been here on the scene contributing to the edification and the growth of this society and jazz as we know it. And thank you so much. It's an honor, it's a privilege for being here today. And I thank you. God bless.